I think I must have like come down from I usually I was living upstairs in my
Yes.
dormitory, and then
Yeah.
you were living downstairs. And I of course I did not know anyone in my dormitory then. I think a couple of people downstairs had already been friendly. I think the people in the first room you were already friends with them, I think. And I came down and then I saw you, and I think you must have said something to those other friends, and then we left things as that. But then I heard about like you being like a product of OBMS, and I was like, I was like, okay, why is an OBMS student here in Lautech? I felt out of place as someone who went to ISI. I was like, okay, I think literally I must have been the only ISI student in pre-degree Lautech. I think I think so. So I was like, okay, yes, OBMS is a good school. It's a good school, at least in Ibadan. What was the unfortunateness, if there's anything like
Hey,
that?
point of correction. The best school at that time in Ibadan.
It's one of we will not come there. So, so it was like, okay, what happened to this person? Because I was already feeling bad for myself. Like, okay, how did I
Why
end
is
up
this guy
here?
unfortunate?
Yes, what was the unfortunate that hit this person that ended up not like in like 100 level in Lautech, but like pre-degree is like people who did not get into, because of course I had tried to get into UI then, that which is most of what the natural progression is from my school. Everyone
Yeah.
goes to UI, but of course, um, because my wife was one guy. And this was the time UI had sort of like changed
Yeah.
their
High grading
criteria,
levels.
which was now like mostly Y centric. So even though I made my papers, of course, I didn't. They prioritize people with like A's and B's and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think we must have been doing registration for like pre-degree. And I think
Hmm.
you must have had like challenges with your result. I think you had like a result plus an affidavit because of the
Mm.
name, I think.
Correct. Yes.
And then I got to see your result, and I was like, okay, this person is clearly smart. Like he had lots of like A's and B's. Okay, so this person is smart. He went to like a good school and have met himself in this shithole. What is going on? So that was my very first sort of like impression. And of course, we eventually um became quite friendly. And I think one other thing was, I think maybe I'll give you a chance to respond. But one other thing I sort of wanted to touch on was the fact that your roommate was actually the class rep. As
Pastor.
as well, your roommate was also the class rep as well.
Yeah.
So that's what I particularly found, at least initially, interesting about you. Do you remember any sort of like first contact? If you can't, we can move on. Sorry.
Yeah. I think you have a very sharp, sharp memory. Um, you were able to remember all of these things in details, and if in details, even in myself, you were actually driving me down the memory.